Now let's do this thing. Let's uh let's get it over with. Oh my gosh, we got so much today. Elimination Chamber, Battle in the Valley, the wrestling debut of Mercedes Moné. What will happen with Sami Zayn? So many things, and I just don't care because it doesn't matter. And I'll explain why. It's Wrestling Observer Live. It's Jim Valley. We're back live 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. And Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Jim Valley back, the effing king of recovery. Back because of the fans, because of each and every one of you. As I point at you, turn in a circle and point at the WrestleMania sign in the rafters. Today's the day that dreams are made of for both New Japan and WWE. It's the biggest day of the year in WWE. Elimination Chamber. Every boy and girl trains, works out, diets to look their best for the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Everybody loves Elimination Chamber. All the memories, like when Edge returns, and that time when Edge returns. Elimination Chamber, the speed bump on the road to WrestleMania, the construction zone, the school zone on the road to WrestleMania. We'll get to that. Plus, talked about Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes wearing the WWE title everywhere, suggesting on Twitter that he at least should get paid or stock for it. People getting mad at me. Dude, do you guys don't think celebrities get paid for everything that they wear out in public? Do you think that Mahomes and his agent don't know that kids emulate everything that he wears all across the country? You don't think they monetize that? You think when the MVP wins the Super Bowl, he just by chance says, I'm going to Disney World? Of course they get paid. I mean, Mahomes is a wrestling fan, but come on, clearly somebody made a deal somewhere. SmackDown was boring. Rampage is Rampage. We'll get into all of it coming up next. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
You're clear. All right.
It's Jim Valley. It's Wrestling Observer Live, Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. Got a huge show for you today. But first, before we get all into the show today, I do want to mention we have a brand new sponsor. Do you have feelings of depression? Are you feeling sad these days? Do you feel lost, isolation, loneliness? Do you feel lost knowing that you've wasted 9 months of your life watching the Bloodline storyline in WWE? Well, do we have the solution for you? Take Zainloft. Zainloft, the new anti-depression medication for WWE fans. Just take 2 Zainloft and automatically you'll feel better. Take 2 Zainloft, and you won't mind that Triple H jerked you around with no intention of ever paying off the Sami Zayn storyline. Packed with industrial strength copium, Zainloft will make you think that a dusty finish at Elimination Chamber and winning the tag team titles in an 8-minute match at WrestleMania is every bit as good as winning the undisputed title. Take 2 Zainloft, and soon you'll be saying Sami isn't good enough to be in the main event at WrestleMania Hollywood. He's not handsome enough. He's not fit. Symptoms taking Zainloft include unnecessary crying and pointing at random signs for no reason. Zainloft. Ask Dr. Shelby if Zainloft is right for you. You know, drug companies spend so much money. I think it's very important now that, I've gotten in to that thing. I mean, Conrad makes a lot of money thanks to, the penis pills. So the fact that I've gotten in with Pfizer and all of those people, I'm very happy about the money I'm going to be making. But let me tell you about real depression. When you almost die 6 times, people think that you've learned something about life. And look, I'm no smarter than you. After you've had your life taken away from you, it's hard to adjust. I've had to come to terms with the fact I'm never going to accomplish anything of note in my life. But you know what? Who cares? Seriously. Whatever you accomplish will just be forgotten. We can waste all of this time satisfying our own egos. But for what? It's just for ourselves. There are presidents, Academy Award winners, great scientists who are ghosts to history. What matters is how you spend your time when you're alive. For example, here in the Seattle area, I see traffic is back like it was before the height of COVID. Is that better? Is that how we should be spending our time? Of course we could do better. And we could talk about spending your time watching wrestling, but we'll skip that for today. But as wrestling fans, you do invest your time, maybe your money, watching what you like. What do you get for that return? You see cool moves. You see your heroes win. You see the bad guys get what they have coming in the end. Wrestling is like a movie. The bad guy does need to win sometimes. Thanos needs to snap half the world away for the Avengers to be good. Nobody was mad at the end of Infinity War. In wrestling, it's called getting heat. And WWE has spent over 900 days getting heat on Roman Reigns. The penciled in plan was for Dwayne Johnson to vanquish Roman at WrestleMania Hollywood. Personally, this is just my opinion only. I think that the potential Saudi deal, Vince's sexual settlements, and The Rock's issue with DC had an effect on his decision. Dwayne can't risk any missteps right now. He's also getting older. Before, you couldn't really criticize Rock. And don't get me wrong, Rock is awesome. I think he's the greatest of all time. I'm just saying he's entering a new phase of his career. You know, the public line said Rock couldn't get into ring shape in time for WrestleMania. That may be true too, but I think other factors led to the decision. But it all worked out. Sami Zayn is red hot. WWE says it always wants talent to reach for that brass ring. WWE offers opportunity, except it doesn't. We'll get to that in a second. Watching SmackDown, waiting for Sami Zayn's big interview in Montreal, I was like Homer Simpson when he goes sober and he's sitting there watching baseball going, I never realized how boring this is. I think the Emperor has no clothes. Hit Row is now in the Baron Corbin troll position. The crowd knows they're terrible, and they play along. Bray Wyatt wants Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. Why? Bray Wyatt and Brock is going to be something, I guess. It's a marquee matchup. But also, we went through months and months of nowhere interviews, pointless phrases, long introductions, skits, videos, clues. Also, Bray Wyatt could work with his brother. Bray Wyatt's third generation, and it shows. What a master. What a genius. Great job getting what you want. I mean, now Uncle Howdy's just in the ring. They're just there. Something that could have taken, a few shows, sure, draw it out a little bit, but months. And the payoff was nothing. Welcome to Triple H's WWE, but we'll get to that in a second. Yet another Ronda and Natalya feud. Natalya's like a player coach to me. She should be in the ring with someone like Roxanne or Raquel, getting them up to speed on the main roster. I don't need chapter 73 of Natalya versus Ronda just because they're buddies. They like to be in the ring together. Ronda did hit the DDT spot with Shotzi this time, so good on her. Drew and Sheamus versus the Viking Raiders again. Gunther is almost like Jade Cargill. It's in his own little world, beating everybody. Asuka in her Kana paint is great, but Asuka's always great. She's a wrestling genius. WWE's done a beautiful job with Sammy, and now it's time to end it. And if you think it's going to end in any other way, do you even watch wrestling? This will be the last WrestleMania under the McMahon banner, the culmination of Vince McMahon's life's work. Rumors are he wants to sell for $9 billion. At that price tag, in today's media economy, I'd say the Saudis are likely. And if it's the Saudis, no Sammy at WrestleMania. Also, WrestleMania Hollywood. WWE wants a leading man. I've been bullish on WrestleMania. I have done a 180, and I'll explain why. Coming up next, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
You're clear.
And we are back. You know, it's always fun. Someone will accuse me of being a shill for WWE. They're like, Jim, you work for the Observer, so you're in the bag for AEW, just like Meltzer, blah, blah. And I can always tell when people don't listen to me and don't listen to my show, because I have been very, very bullish on this year's WrestleMania. And I've been very, very big on all of WrestleMania. Except I'm not anymore. A lot of things have changed along with my opinion. As I mentioned, no Dwayne Johnson, no Steve Austin, probably John Cena. John sucked up to China. What does it matter with Saudi Arabia? At this moment, I'm just not feeling it anymore. And look, WWE has its fans. People, I think, will be happy. I think you're going to see a delayed effect. I'm the canary in the coal mine for this. Mark my words. Mark these words. I'm going to tell you right now. Triple H has been in charge, 6, 8 months? And Triple H has got to tell. I've talked about this. He uses things to build up your emotions, and then he just pulls it out from under you. Harley Race's robe with Tommaso Ciampa, and Tommaso Ciampa basically got squashed. He builds these tournaments, and the winner of the tournament, the World Cup, the tag team tournaments, always lose when they challenge for whatever title. The build-up, 65,000 strong in Drew McIntyre's supposed backyard at Clash of the Castle. And Drew loses clean to Roman Reigns. 65,000 people not only celebrating Drew McIntyre, but celebrating the 30th anniversary of one of the most momentous UK victories of all time. And they got a typical show. We spent months, and we get Uncle Howdy, Bray's brother, in a mask, just backing him up. And now, Sami Zayn. WWE fans are invested. They spent the time, their money, and emotions on the Bloodline story, and it is not going to pay off at WrestleMania. Look, Roman may lose, but he's not losing the title today. Maybe it'll be a false finish, and Adam Pearce takes the title back on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. But Roman Reigns is going into WrestleMania as the champion. And here's the thing. Fans today don't care. Someone tweeted that I think a lot of the fans left after Daniel Bryan. And you know what? This is on brand for Triple H. Do you remember all the way back in 99, 2000? If you remember, there was the Triple H, Stephanie, Kurt Angle storyline. They built it up. Steph turning on Triple H and going with Kurt. But instead of giving WWE fans what they wanted, WWE lost momentum and a ton of popularity because Triple H said that behind the scenes, Stephanie would never leave the Triple H character, and the Triple H character is just too smart. He'd never fall for that. And they made Kurt, the babyface, look like an idiot. And millions of WWE fans went click. They were pissed, and they never went back. And this is very on brand for Triple H and WWE. And by the time Triple H and Stephanie went back to their feud, nobody cared anymore. It was too late. It was lightning in a bottle. So this is going to be on brand for Triple H. I fully expect Jey Uso to screw Sami Zayn after a long, dramatic pause. Truth is, WWE management doesn't want talent to reach for the brass ring. They want to pick you. They picked Roman Reigns. They have now picked Cody Rhodes. And I've said this before, Cody is great. He's super talented. He's a big star. Even when people were down on Cody in AEW, I was still a proponent. I believe he deserves a long-term WWE story that culminates in a beautiful story of winning the WWE title next year. The thing is, I just think Cody deserves something of his own, something more emotional. A long storyline with twists and turns, basically the bloodline, but for Cody Rhodes. And instead, Cody is just the long line, just the latest in the long line of new guys who came back to WWE to win at the Rumble and WrestleMania. This is a tradition going all the way back to 1993 and Yokozuna. Maybe even Ric Flair. It's always the new guy shows up and wins. And yeah, Cody had the injury, but we've seen the story a million times, like with Edge. WWE needed to tell a long story about the Rhodes family legacy, not just drop him in. And again, I want to make it clear, even if Cody was still out with the torn pec, Sammy would not be going to the main event of WrestleMania. Not the main event of the last fully McMahon WrestleMania. You know, it's very fitting that the fans want one thing, but in the end, that last 100% Vince McMahon WrestleMania is going to be Vince McMahon getting his way. Then, now, and forever. You know, Ariel Helwani appeared on SmackDown from Montreal. Ariel Helwani, for those who don't know, combat sports journalist. He's been on this website before, interviewed with Dave. He's covered UFC, WWE. He's extremely knowledgeable. He's a very good reporter. And he's been very public, for example, with feuds in the past with Dana White. In fact, Dana took away his credentials in the past. Ariel is a journalist. On SmackDown, was he a paid talent? He stood in the crowd and talked about the excitement in the city. And look, I'm sure that is true. I mean, he probably didn't say anything that he wouldn't have said on or off WWE TV. Journalists are supposed to be objective. And WWE has been doing media scrums or press conferences, whatever you want to call them, after the PLEs, following in the footsteps of the media scrums by AEW. And now people at the last press event were really softball towards WWE, asking about storylines, talking to people like they were the character. That's not journalism. And look, I know like some people are critical of Scott Fishman from TV Insider. Scott was from TV Insider. He was asking about The Rock and other TV news. He's like Entertainment Tonight. You know, not everybody has to be hard-hitting. But I want to make this clear. You know, I am a National Murrow Award winner. That's what this is, right there. National Sports Reporting for me, Jim Valley. I won that. Anyway, almost 20 years ago, by the way. It's been a while. Anyway, so I know what I'm talking about. I've covered major stories. I've covered sports. And there are polite ways to ask hard-hitting questions. But aside from that, you know, you can't just go in and go, why did you do that? Because people are going to shut down. You've got to, you know, you can't twist your arm to make people answer a question. For example, I remember I used to cover the state capitol here in the state of Washington. And by far, Democrats controlled both houses. They had the majorities. There was literally nothing that the Republicans could do as far as influencing policy. But I would always interview the Republicans, even though they had no influence, because the way I looked at it was my listeners, some of them lean Republican, and they're going to want to know this. I saw it as servicing my customers, the listeners. With the collapse of media, one of the issues is brain drain. There are no experienced journalists to show younger people the ropes, why you shouldn't work for a company that you cover. I don't even know that it really matters today. I mean, we're seeing it with the Dominion voting machines lawsuit. Privately, apparently, everybody knew that the 2020 election wasn't stolen, yet all those people shilled for it. Ariel didn't say anything pro WWE other than describing the crowd. But did he get paid? He was basically Todd Pettengill or Tony Schiavone. We'll talk about that and Tony Khan. Coming up, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
You're clear.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-943-2153. 800-943-2153. 800-943-2153. That's 800-943-2153.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. That's 800-485-6003.
If you're moving to another state, you're getting a fresh start in a brand new town. And when you choose
to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. God, things are just chugging along today. My computer just suddenly decided to go to a crawl. We're struggling, so we'll struggle through the rest of the show. Ariel Helwani, basically Todd Pettengill or Tony Schiavone last night. Tony Khan called him a shill, called him basically Tony Schiavone, and I don't know if Tony Khan was joking or if he really meant it or what the relationship. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, look at me. I called the Stardom pay-per-view a couple of years ago, but I mean, I told you what I got. I got $200. Am I a shill for Stardom? I mean, I did it because I wanted to call a wrestling pay-per-view in my lifetime. No matter who it was, wasn't important to me. I never negotiated for a price. I didn't know what I was getting, literally, until Rossi put $200 in my hand. Disco Inferno tweeted something about it, saying that it's hypocritical because the Young Bucks named a move after Dave Meltzer. Dave didn't ask the Bucks to do that. They just did it. 2, it's not like Dave gets a fee for every time they hit the move. And 3, it's more of a joke than a tribute. And, look, a lot of people are like, oh, Disco Inferno. I'm like, I'm fine with Disco's opinions. I'll give him credit, for taking some risks with his opinion. But what drives me crazy is he just interrupts everybody and does not listen. It's like, give that guy some Ritalin or something so it'll just settle his tea kettle. I don't know. The world has changed. Everybody loves corporations. Everybody wants to be rich and famous, no matter the cost. Can you believe Ariel Helwani after this? I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not saying that you can. It's just definitely up to you, no matter what you do. But it's definitely a different world. I was very surprised to see Ariel Helwani. Today is the day for Mercedes Moné, the CEO. She's the main event of New Japan Battle for Jim Valley. Battle in the Valley. Mercedes has already been a success in the sense that she's moved some tickets. It's only like 2,800 tickets there. But it's not a small crowd. It's not an overwhelming crowd, but she's definitely responsible for at least several hundred tickets. And in this day and age, that's something. And it's going to be curious to see how the crowd reacts. One would think it's going to be a very supportive crowd, given that, it looks like she moved some of those tickets. And for her sake, I hope so. And honestly, for the sake of wrestling. Wrestling needs her to be a success. Her debut at Wrestle Kingdom was underwhelming. I think most people think that for a number of reasons. We talked about it. But look, this is not uncommon. I'm not ready to write her off. And I don't think you should either. Cody took a while to find himself. When he left WWE, he wrestled his first matches in a WWE style, including here in Seattle for Defy. Crowds were lukewarm, but eventually he figured it out. It's sort of like Rey Mysterio. Remember One Night Stand, ECW's pay-per-view that WWE put on? Rey came out and wrestled a WWE style match. He was WWE Rey Mysterio, and the crowd let him know. Chris Jericho came out in his Lionheart gear and won the crowd over. And that's kind of what I think she's going to need to do. She's going to need to show parts of Sasha Banks, but also some things that are new. Why do you need to follow Mercedes Moné? But I think there's going to be a fine line. She's got her WWE fan base, and she's got the New Japan independent fan base who are going to be watching. They'd be watching anyway. I think she has to have a solid match. It can't just be a WWE match. And I'm not talking, it has to be a dangerous match. It doesn't need to be something for her to risk life and limb over. But it needs to be interesting and creative. Doesn't even have to be wild or, a million moves or some 27-piece, thing that they've stitched together. It just needs to be creative. And I think she needs to show us who Mercedes Moné is. And Mercedes Moné just can't be best value Sasha Banks. And she has to show up and be ready to go. I think she will be. I think the crowd will be very hot for her. And I think the crowd will give her every opportunity to succeed. And if she doesn't, I think that's strike two. And I'll also be curious how Mercedes fans react to the New Japan style of pro wrestling. The pressure is also on New Japan. I mean, the wrestling's going to be great. New Japan wrestling is always great. But the presentation, I thought the presentation for Wrestle Kingdom, they need to be very tight as far as matches, the flow, the production values, everything. Geez, you're going to get Okada versus Tanahashi on U.S. soil. Zack Sabre Jr. against the up-and-coming Clark Connors. That's going to be great. A loser leaves New Japan match. Eddie Kingston and Jay White. One would think that Jay White is losing. Homicide versus Tom Lawler. What a low-key year Tom Lawler's having. Good for him. A great tag team match. Motor City Machine Guns versus the West Coast Wrecking Crew. Those guys are a very underrated tag team. Those guys are in such great shape. I don't understand why they're not doing more. Maybe this will be a breakout for the West Coast Wrecking Crew. Here tonight at Battle of the Valley. Fred Rosser versus Kenta. Talk about someone who left WWE. Primetime players, that gimmick, millions of dollars, whatever it was that they did. He leaves WWE. You wouldn't expect that would keep wrestling. But Fred Rosser redefined himself as a wrestler. He happens to be a great wrestler who just happens to be gay. And nobody cares, which is great. He's just Fred Rosser, great wrestler. Oh, and by the way, he's taking on Kenta. Here's a guy who went to WWE. They could probably give Mercedes Moné some advice. Also on the show, David Finlay against Bobby Fish. 8-man tag, which can be a lot of fun. Rocky Romero, Adrian Quest, Josh Alexander, and Mascara Dorada against Kushida, Kevin Knight, Volador Jr., and DKC. Volador Jr. is a guy that I didn't really get till I saw him in person. He's very underrated, I think. Alex Coughlin against Jared Kratos as well. So it's going to be a very interesting show, but I don't know what's going to happen as far as Mercedes Moné. But, with me being not that bullish on WrestleMania right now, a lot of people are speculating about the future of CM Punk. Chris Jericho tweeting that he always enjoyed working with CM Punk, especially because there was that story about Jericho not wanting CM Punk allegedly back in AEW again. A lot of people looking at the soft ratings last Wednesday for Dynamite, thinking that AEW needs CM Punk. And they might. Daniel Bryan has been very unselfish, maybe too much so. He's lost several times for both, while he's been challenging for both the AEW and ROH titles. And I think it's really killed whatever momentum he and MJF have for this title match. It's like, I get that Daniel Bryan wants to develop young talent. I get that he wants to move on and do other things, but he has to see the way that fans see him and that fans want him to win. And I think he's being too unselfish. But I talked about this even before everything that's going on with Cody and Sami Zayn and everything. When we thought Rock was going to be there, thought Cena and Stone Cold were going to be at WrestleMania, I said, a slow and steady wins the race. And it would be smart to just do something steady. And then right around the time, just after WrestleMania, boom, if you're AEW, peak with something surprising. With the end, at the end of WrestleMania, if I'm AEW, right around that time, is that the time you bring in CM Punk? I think so. I heard Jim Cornette talk about the Young Bucks need to apologize, and I think everyone needs to apologize. Look, when you're dealing with athletes, when you're dealing with wrestlers are a weird breed. People couldn't manage Jim Cornette. He slapped, what's his face? Santino Marella. Was that the fault of WWE management? I don't know. But I'm just saying, you're going to expect there's going to be flare-ups. It's not a damnation of Tony Khan because wrestlers couldn't get along in his dressing room. That's happened forever. But I hope that cooler heads have prevailed. Maybe Chris Jericho's rethought everything. Maybe CM Punk's rethought everything. Maybe everybody's rethought everything. And people will come together and go, we all could have handled it better. And maybe we all should try to rethink this. But I think just step by step, just slow and steady builds the race. Slow and steady wins the race. You build it very slowly, teasing the return. And then finally, right after WrestleMania, boom, when WWE is restarting, that's when you hit with whatever the next big thing is. Don't hot shot right now. There's no need to do that. Don't give the last word to WWE. But that's my thought on that. If CM Punk is available, if CM Punk is willing to come back, that's when I would bring him back. Right after, as WrestleMania closes, that's when CM Punk should come back, and you're off to the races. Hey, as you know, I'm a big gamer guy, big video game guy. I've played all the wrestling video games. I want to talk about the AEW video game and why it's on hold. Coming up next, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer. Observer Live, Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. You know I love video games. I've played them, gosh, pretty much my entire life, and I'm obsessed right now with Metroid Prime Remastered. Metroid Prime, the original on GameCube, is probably my favorite game of all time. In 2002, when it came out, everybody, all my friends, were playing Halo or GTA or Knights of the Old Republic. I was playing Metroid Prime, and I've gone back. I played it when they brought it out, when they did the remaster version. They brought a version out on the Wii. I still have a GameCube that I play it on, and I've played it a number of different times over the years. And right now, I'm loving the remaster version. It's awesome. Well, Kenny Omega provided an update on the status of AEW Fight Forever. On the Swerve City podcast, Omega said one of the issues that was keeping the game from being released was scaling down the content in order to get a teen rating by the ESRB, which is the rating system for video games in the US. The game has since got that rating, and what the hell is in that game? What are they, like, killing hookers in the ring? Do you get paid with an 8-ball to wrestle? What are they doing? Do they include, like, the Fabulous One's van? That's a real-life wrestling game. I'm excited to play this rated R version. I can't wait. Anyway, look, enjoyed Battle of the Valley or Elimination Chamber. Be sure to take your copium, as Sami Zayn's losing. I'm sorry to tell you. Anyway, we'll talk to you next week. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live, back again because of the fans. All right, everybody. GameCube is awesome. I love the GameCube. GameCube is the best. Is that okay? Oh, thanks. That was okay. I haven't. Yeah, I love the game. Alrighty. Where's anything? I don't even know what a Panasonic is. What's the Panasonic? Oh, whoops. Let's do this. Oh, heavens. Oh, yeah, let's do the thing. Hey, if you stick around, if you watch on YouTube, I don't know, it's just extra time on YouTube. So if you want to get some extra content, you can ask questions and you can, all that stuff. Talk about other things I don't get around to. Yeah, I think it's super cool. I love that. But anyway, yeah, I'm obsessed. Is everybody else playing Metroid Prime Remastered? Anybody? Anyway. Oh, goodness gracious. But look at that. true. Yeah, Cody in both games. Hang on, stay right there, okay? Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. 1 minute. I love you guys. I want you to love the YouTube channel. Where you going, Sherman? All right. There it is. That's my favorite game. New Japan Pro Wrestling 2. This game is awesome. The best game. Anyway, this is the best game for the Nintendo 64. It's got a freaking engine like you wouldn't believe. It gives you so much freedom. It's so cool. So cool. Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry about that. Now I see. There it is. Now I see. Sorry about that. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, this game is awesome. It's got everybody. It's the coolest game. It's got intros. You can wrestle in Tokyo Dome. You can wrestle in Budokan. What you call it? Korakuen. You can wrestle somebody. It's the best. It is the coolest game. So it's really cool. Oh, you have played it. Oh, that's cool. I'm so glad somebody played it. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, isn't it fun? Anyway, I love that. We'll see what happens with this AEW video game. Oh, it's cool. So, do you guys have predictions? Do you think the crowd? I don't think the crowd's going to care when Sam. This is 1998, so it's got NWO. So you can see it's got Chono, it's got Hashimoto, it's got Liger, it's got Kendo Kashin, Dr. Wagner is in the game. It's got a great roster. Inoki, Don Fry. It's pretty great. It's really cool. Yeah, 1998. New Japan Pro Wrestling 2. It's awesome. I love it. It's the best. So, Anyway. That'd be funny. That'd be really funny. Anyway. All right. Well, look, I got nothing exciting. Any thoughts on Mercedes? Any thoughts on It's Sammy. I think they're going to do a dusty finish. I think they're going to do a dusty finish. Anyway. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway. Alrighty. Well, I got nothing. I'm kind of tired. I think I may just go to bed. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Yeah, I think it's going to be a dusty finish. Jay costing Sammy, and then Sammy and Jay spin off, and there we go. Yeah. It's good. Fine. It's fine. I mean, it's just wrestling. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway. All right, kids. Well, I'm going to go. You guys have a great day. I will talk to you. I appreciate all of you guys being here each and every time. Thank you for that. And yeah, I'm going to take a nap. I got up super early today. I got up at like 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep because I was so excited to bring you a show. But anyway. All right, kids. I will, I'll talk to you later. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you for being here. I really, really do. You guys are the best. Yeah. At the end of the day, thank you. I enjoy you guys being here. You're very, very welcome. So I'm glad you like the show.